What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I found a perfect example of some nonsense that inspired millions to go out and vote for Trump. You know, things like saying you're deplorables, or all racist, or all back-heel people, maybe with one tooth, maybe a half a tooth, who knows? And then they wonder why we get upset and offended and call them elites, call them intolerable, things like that. This person that I'm about to let y'all hear just threw all Trump supporters under the bus. But not only that, I want to point out the hypocrisy in this clip we're about to watch, okay? And you'll find after watching this, whether you're a Trump supporter or not, that you're probably offended by what this lady says or what she's insinuating. She thinks she's better than us. That's what it is. I got a good friend, his father cracks me up. He married a psychologist. He caught her when she was young, impressionable. So she married him. He's just a regular Joe, worked a factory job. Here she is, a psychologist now. And sometimes his insecurities kick in. So no matter what the situation is, he always go back to, you think you better than me. She can be like, guess what? I got a promotion on my job today. And he's like, oh, so you think you better than me? What? No. See, you always do that. You know what? I'm not telling you anything else. Oh, so now you can't tell me stuff. You could even give him a compliment. You look like you lost a lot of weight. Oh, so you think you better than me just because I ain't lose as much as you? Always taking it personal. Well, that's incorrectly taking it personal. But this right here, I'm taking it personal. When this lady says what she says, I have to say, oh, you think you better than me. Let's listen.
Offered $1 for Greenland, and we did buy Alaska. This wouldn't be completely
my fault. Let me give you the scenario. Okay, so MSNBC has the nerve to be talking about Greenland. So apparently Trump floated an ideal or a thought out there about buying Greenland. Buying Greenland, okay? Not going in, sending troops to drag all the people from Greenland out and overthrow them and run them off cliffs, kill their wildlife, run a couple pipelines through, none of that stuff. Buying Greenland. But watch what they do when they start discussing the possibility of this.
Yes, Tiff, what does it say? What message does it send, perhaps, to our allies and our foes even around the world about America's interests?
I'm a little concerned when I hear a descendant of colonizers talk about taking land from indigenous people. Like the Inuit people have been there for centuries, and we're very flimsily talking.
Now, think about what she just did. She sent a subliminal message to all the impressionable people that, first of all, colonizers, descendants of colonizers, white people, just to let you know if you didn't catch it, she's talking about white people, okay? Secondly, she says taking land from indigenous people. Now she's making the connection of the settlers that came here from Europe and took the land from the Native Americans, and now she's saying that there's a possibility that this can be duplicated. But also, she left out a key word. She transposed buying to taking, okay? Taking land. So now she's insinuating that Trump is a dictator. He's like Hitler. He's going to go over there and just go in there and just start taking the land. No offer, no negotiations, no options, nothing. Taking land. Let's finish this crap.
About their autonomous land. And I don't know if you remember in May 2018, Donald Trump talked about, white settlers who came here and tamed a continent. So we kind of know how he feels and views this space. So I think that's of concern, particularly for the people there. And I wonder, this is something, his supporters are like just blind followers of his. And I just wonder when this becomes a talking point of his on the campaign trail.
The second part of the offense, I'm sure she didn't put his statement in context about coming here and taming a continent, okay? He didn't say taming the people, he came and tamed all black people, came over there and they tamed all Native Americans, okay? See, they always insinuate. But then secondly, she then goes on to say that all of his supporters follow him blindly. That's quite rich. I mean, last I checked, it is the Democratic Party that can get up on a podium and feed their audience a bunch of complete lies and nonsense, like Russia collusion, and people will follow that and support it blindly. Like Trump never said anything about Charlottesville. He didn't condemn the Nazis. Yeah, those people believe that 100%. I still hear that. What about Charlottesville? Or Trump called Mexicans rapists, drug dealers, and all of that stuff. Their people, they still use these talking points, Smoking Joe, all of them. And their people just say, yep, see, remember he did that? That's following blindly. When you still believe in the Russia collusion hoax, that's following blindly. When you still think, I got people right now, supposed to be intelligent people, hate Trump, and they're like, Vladimir Putin helped him get elected. And I'm like, wow, you're following blindly. But the second thing, anybody who voted Trump is a very independent thinker. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it's not popular. Why would people support a president that to the left or to the media, they will get bashed, shunned, called names, thrown into the categories of white nationalists and all that stuff? Reason is because the people who support Trump are independent thinkers that have the reasoning skills to look at what his policies are versus his personality, what his policies are versus the Statue of Liberty poetry that Don Lemon was quoting the other day, what his policies are versus all of the rhetoric that the left is throwing out there about him. What we have to do is think critically. We have to look at the situation and say, how much of all of this inflammatory language is nothing but propaganda and politics? And we're smart enough to see the propaganda like what's being done right here. And another thing about Trump supporters, we are not convinced by what Trump has said. People like to say, well, Trump brainwashed y'all, or Trump, he the one that is telling y'all what to think, versus like the Democratic Party. I mean, I hear their talking points mentioned all the time. The difference is this. When Trump gets up and he talks about America first, he talks about securing our borders, he talks about lowering taxes, he talks about bringing companies back, he talks about getting rid of ISIS, he talks about standing up to trade, all of those things, what he is really doing is echoing what people who voted for him already was thinking. He didn't plant the thought. People were sitting back going, I see problems in America, and no politicians are directly addressing them full on. They're tiptoeing around it, sugarcoating it, pivoting. Trump gets up, throws it out, and people say, about time somebody is saying what I've been thinking about this whole situation a long time. Therefore, you vote for him. So that's not brainwashing. It's just saying, I found someone who thinks like I think or have the same policies that I have. That's it. But this woman feels that all the Trump supporters are just brainwashed and we follow blindly. But here's the big insult coming. Y'all ready for this one? She was warming us up, sprinkling a little bit of suggestion in there. Like, let's suggest that Trump's about to return back to the settler days, run all the people from Greenland out there, kill the buffalo, all of that stuff, bring them smallpox, and just try to completely destroy a whole nation of people and take their land. That's what she's suggesting. But then she goes on to start talking about how we're all brainwashed, and then finally the icing on the cake is coming.
Can anybody at the MAGA rally point out Greenland on a map? I would be very interested and curious to see, or tell us what kind of government Greenland is, or who the indigenous people are. I highly doubt it. So I think when you have such a lack of understanding of global diplomacy, you can easily throw out these asinine ideas and have, the sheep following the wolf.
Wow.
Michael.
Now, this person, I guess, she's clever. She's smart, brilliant. Apparently, she can break down all of the information about Greenland, the ecosystem and all that stuff, what animals live there, if you were to be trapped in that land, how you could survive by living off the land, the way of life there, all of that stuff, the strategic location of Greenland and how it could benefit our military perhaps, or there's so many other things about Greenland that I guess she just knows all that information and assumes that all the Trump supporters can't just, even if you're not an expert in Greenland, Google it. Where's Greenland located? So we don't even know how to work the internets now. That's what you're saying? She just insulted all the people who've ever been to a Trump rally. And the bad part about this, I bet you 95-ish% of Trump supporters and people who attend his rally in a debate would destroy this woman. I know I would. And Greenland have nothing to do with it. It comes down to intelligence, okay? Give me the intel about Greenland and why we should purchase it, and I'm smart enough to put together all the details and say that's a good idea or not. Okay, but this woman suggests that not only do we not know anything about Greenland, I guess we don't have the higher operating capacity to just say, well, let me find out about Greenland and why it might be a good decision. This is why people voted for Trump. And they think by these insults, they're going to chase people away from voting for Trump in 2020. Let me tell you something. You only encourage me, baby, okay? You only encourage me. Every time I hear people insult Trump supporters, they're ignorant, they're back-heel alley, snag a tooth, they're uneducated, they're blind, yes, they're racist, they're white nationalists. All of these things, every time we hear that, it only drives us further and further away from the left. And people in the middle, if they got any noodles, they're watching this crap too, and they're saying, oh, she thinks she better than them, okay? She just went ahead and totally inserted her own ideas of what Trump might be trying to do by suggesting that we might purchase Greenland. He's trying to bring back the settler days, do what the Indians did. The conquerors, I'm concerned. Anybody who come from the settlers and all of that, the colonists, I'm concerned when they just try to go into land. And I'm like, see, there you go. It always goes back to race. Can't look at anything logical, practical, reasonable. No. Can't do that. Can't just ask a question, well, why would that be a good idea? No. Right off grip, throw in the negative spin. It's not a good idea because most likely Trump is going over there and he's going to take the land against the will, not going to buy it, take it against the will, run them out of there, possibly enslave them, and conquer the whole Greenland location. That's why it's propaganda. That's why these people right here, even though I'm all for free speech, but if you're going to get on TV and say you are a news station and all you are is a propagation station, why then aren't you in the same category as conspiracy theories and all of that stuff? Why aren't you being removed from YouTube? I guess we're the ones that's on YouTube making up stuff, inferring stuff, insinuating stuff, huh? And yet you hear this woman just suggest that, and I bet you they won't take that off of YouTube. Anyway, you've been listening to Kevin at Kevin's Corner. I'm going to keep on speaking out against it. Don't forget to check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30 live in Kevin's Corner. And don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and the notification button. And let's see what else. Don't forget to check out Extreme Tees. And there's something else I wanted to mention. By the way, if you check out Extreme Tees, make sure you put my name in the promo code, Kevin. You'll get a 20% discount. All right. And then also check out American Patriot Apparel. I looked at some of their items and pretty nice. And just tell them Kevin sent you. All right. All you got to do is just type in Kevin's Corner and you'll see that, you'll see all this stuff. A lot of stuff to check out. All right. So check them out. Also, don't forget, if you want to support Kevin at Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's a link in the bottom of this video to do that. And find me on Facebook and the Twitter. All right. God bless you. And we'll see you next time in Kevin's Corner as I get ready to go out and do some salsa dancing and debrief from this lady who thinks she better than me. God bless you.